Before we begin, 3 messages. What mobile platform do companies like eBay, NBC Universal, the Los Angeles Times, Razorfish, and PayPal use to build their cross-platform native applications? Titanium by Appcelerator. They aren't alone. There are now over 25,000 apps deployed by Appcelerator, which has been called the Rosetta Stone of app development. And you can start now for free. Just go to www.appcelerator.com for more information. So, you've taken some of the advice that has come from Untethered.tv guests, built an app, and now you're turning your attention to generating some hard-earned revenue. Then you should be looking at Pontiflex App Leads. Some of your peers who are using App Leads are earning CPMs 100 times the industry average. And if you need any other reasons to start, I'll give you 2 more. You can run sign-up ads from top brands, the ones that you recognize, and it won't take your precious users out of your app. Go to appleads.com, that's APPLEADS.com, to sign up. When my company needed to develop a key mobile product, one that I was counting on as a new source of revenue, I knew exactly who to turn to. Macadamian. They delivered on time with incredible attention to detail, and I was able to get product into customers' hands faster than I ever thought possible. I've personally known them for 10 years, and they do make great products even better. Check them out at www.macadamian.com. Hello everybody, welcome to Untethered.tv. I'm your host, Rob Woodbridge, and this is where we bring you those casual conversations with mobile rock stars, the guys who are changing the face of mobile, helping people bring mobile into their businesses, or helping people just understand what the heck mobile is. And then even doing a deep dive into something like mobile websites. This is one of those topics where people seem to just kind of gloss over the fact that they need a mobile website, maybe don't understand what the true value of a mobile website is, or even just jump right into apps and forget mobile websites. And we're here to dispel that myth, to bring you back to reality, to start you off on the right foot in mobile, which is a mobile website. Now, the question is, how do you build it? And where do you go to build it? Do you hire somebody? Do you do it yourself? And we're not talking about just a plugin for WordPress. We're talking about a full-blown SEO capable, findable mobile website that's functional. And it can get complicated. And here to dispel the myth of complication when it comes to mobile websites is Itai Sadan, who is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Duda Mobile. And Itai, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this and helping us explain why mobile websites are so important. Welcome.
Thanks, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
So, I think that the first thing to start with is, I should say that you're based in Mountain View, California. You've been around since 2009, so you've kind of watched this evolution of mobile websites come into being or into fruition, and now you've kind of offer a product that automates this process a little bit. So why don't we just talk about Duda? Give me a little bit of a rundown of your history.
Yeah, sure. So we founded Duda Mobile in 2009, launched the product in early 2010. I guess it was kind of, we started thinking about mobile and mobile websites. It was 2008, and first iPhones were hitting the market. And what we noticed, me and Amir, my partner, back then, is that some websites displayed pretty well in the iPhone. So if you would go to an Amazon.com or to an eBay, you would get that great experience because Amazon and eBay, they had the resources, they had the skill set and the budget to invest in a dedicated mobile site. But what would happen when you go to all the rest of the millions of sites out there? And that's true until today. You get this horrible experience, if you go to the restaurant or to the carpet cleaning service or any other website out there. And we try to kind of look at that problem and think, how could we give these small businesses the same experience that an Amazon is able to give its mobile users at a much lower cost? And it has to be simple because these are non-technical people.
Right.
And that's basically how Duda Mobile was born.
Yeah, I mean, I see websites out there on a mobile device now that are great. That are formatted well. That maybe don't bring in every opportunity to leverage the mobile device as they should, but at least they've gone through that first stage. And then I see something like Best Buy, which is a terrible, they've just ignored the mobile website. They haven't done it. They've just, basically it's their existing website. It's hard to use. You have to, basically scroll in on your iPhone to be able to click a link. It's a nightmare. Obviously, that was what you saw in 2009. This explosion that was about to happen, like it did 10 years before, 15 years before on the web. That was the thinking here, obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely, we saw the adoption of smartphones, that it's rising, and it was clear to us that this cannot be the way that people view websites on a mobile device. The analogy that I usually use, it's the same as if I would let you read a newspaper in the dark with a flashlight, where you could only see a certain section at a time. That's not the way that you want to read your newspaper. So why do you accept that on your mobile device?
Exactly. Well, you're preaching to the converted, because we saw in 2009 and 2010 we saw kind of everybody skip away from skip over this mobile website and actually move right into apps. For example, like a lot of companies feeding you services for $10 a month that would take an RSS feed and create a mobile website version of your existing website. How are you guys different from those guys?
Yeah, so I think at the bottom of the premise of our solution is that we take an existing website and make it mobile. We don't require any RSS or feed or any API integration. We just understand structures of websites and we convert them really well into mobile optimized sites. And that really caters to a much bigger audience. Most of the websites out there don't have an RSS feed associated with it. Most people don't even understand. Go ask the carpet cleaning service. He doesn't even know what an RSS means.
Exactly.
We just make it really simple. All you have to do, go to our website at dudamobile.com, plug in your URL, click on go, and boom, you get your mobile website. And then you can choose to optionally continue and configure it, or just publish it as it is.
It's that easy.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of secret sauce in there that you guys have developed that allows you to do that. But you launched this in 2010. What did you used to do this because you've been around for a year before that? Did you used to do this manually? I mean, how did you become experts in what works in the mobile space?
It's a lot of trying and playing with different websites. We initially launched a product that with some partnerships that required more of a human intervention and more work to get the mobile site done. It gave you a lot of control, but it did require quite a bit of time to complete your mobile site. And I think with time, we have today a much better coverage of more websites. The tool is much more automated, and there's the algorithm works better in terms of converting your website, what we call the on-the-fly conversion, 100% automatically to mobile with minimal human intervention. So,
yeah, there's never no human intervention. You should never listen to anybody who says that, because you're going to get garbled junk, pretty much.
Yeah, there's always these things that I say if it was possible to do no human intervention at all, then the browsers would have done that. Yeah. They would have solved the problem. But no one knows really what the content on your site is, and it's hard to make decisions on behalf of the user. So we try to bring it to the best possible, we try to do the automation as much as we can. And then, we still leave a little bit of work for the human who knows the structure of the site to make the last decisions of what is relevant and what is not for the mobile site.
For the human. That's exactly it. So you've obviously, we were just talking before we started recording that you have over 200,000 companies. So this isn't like you got a couple of guys that have tested this, and you've got 200,000 companies that are using this to basically convert their websites into mobile websites on the fly. Are you noticing any trends in those 200,000? Is there something that are there is there a specific group that is using this more than others? I mean, what have you got? What have you found from this data?
Yeah, I think we found a lot of interesting data when looking at the websites, and I think there's some businesses that are seeing a lot of value from mobile sites. A lot of most of them are local businesses, businesses that have services and products that they offer to the local community. Businesses that are interested in increasing either traffic to their website or actually getting people who are just out and about on the go to come in through the website, come and actually visit the business and find them and make a decision. So some of these verticals that we're seeing that are getting a lot of value from the mobile site, I think especially businesses like restaurants and the pizzerias is a very hot vertical. We're seeing some pizzerias are getting up to 40 to 50% conversion on some of our widgets, like the click-to-call widget, which is a widget that you basically click on it, and then it dials to the business. So definitely people who are looking for pizza on a mobile device are, if you give them a very easy and quick way to get in touch with the business and order that pizza, that's highly relevant to them. Other verticals that we've seen are limousine and taxi services. Also very high conversion on the click-to-call and on mobile maps and things like that.
We're going to come back to those things, the click-to-call and the mobile map integration and what you can do with a mobile device as opposed to a browser on a desktop or a laptop, because that's really where it shines, where mobile and web combined really shine. But let's bring it down to the simple layer, which is why is it so important that companies use the mobile web as opposed to just putting up their website and leaving it as is, structured as is for these mobile devices? What's so important about a mobile website?
Well, start with statistics that Google have released publicly. A third of all mobile searches are with local intent. So a lot of people are going out there, they're using their mobile device, they're on the go, and they're seeking immediate and relevant information. If you as a business, as a small business now, and I'm looking for you, and you're not able to provide me with that information immediately, I'll just go to the next competitor down the list on Google, and you lost me. So it becomes highly relevant for these businesses that in the past also had no way to get to me as a consumer, but now with Google understanding my location and presenting me with the results of businesses that are in my vicinity, you're suddenly ranking very high, especially if I'm down here in Mountain View and I'm looking for a Thai restaurant. So the Thai restaurants in my area will suddenly rank in the top 10. Now, if I'm not able to see your menu, I'm not able to see pricing, I'm not able to call the restaurant or see directions, I might just go to the next Thai restaurant down the list. And that's why it's becoming increasingly important for small businesses to provide me with that information.
And is it, when I do a Google search on my mobile device, ultimately I can find a website. I talk about Best Buy because they've just done a terrible job of integrating mobile. They may have a mobile app, but when I'm on their website, when I'm in the store and I'm not downloading their mobile app, it's a disaster of an experience. And here in Canada as well, it's Future Shop. I mean, I don't know what these guys. These are the technology pioneers. They're selling the latest technology, and what they're providing to me is garbage. But that's not why we're here. But ultimately, when I do a search for something, they come up still, and so would a Thai restaurant, and so would all these other guys. But talk about the way that the website has to be formatted so that it's usable ultimately, right?
Right, and these and the way that we format it is that we really bring the most relevant information into a prominent location on your mobile site. So things like the business telephone number and the address. And we make the menu very usable. So our slogan is no pinching, no zooming. You're just able to read off the mobile site without requiring to zoom in and look at it. making it very easy and making that user experience really great
Well,
on the first go.
so no pinching and zooming. I'm going to pull this up. The viewers are not going to be able to see this very well, but if you're listening to this, you're not going to be able to see it at all. But I'm just showing the Best Buy website on an iPhone 4, and you see that? It is what it is basically the existing website just displayed on it. And when you see something like this, is that just kind of, you look at it and say, what? Do they not get it? Or are they just missing something? Or do they have, this is an ideal client for something like Duda. So are they, what do you say to somebody like this that just doesn't seem to get it?
Right. Do you think if I show an example, would you be able to capture it?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's try. I'm going to put it in.
Yeah, so the hardest part is actually holding the phone in front of the camera, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think I got that one.
It's good.
So this is a mobile site that was built by one of our users. It's Dan Hardy. He's a mixed martial arts. But you see how, look at that navigation. Look how clear it is. So simple. Let me see if everything is readable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the concepts behind our mobile sites.
So you're basically taking all of the data and you're putting it behind the navigation that is structured, but you're making it, basically thumb friendly.
Exactly. So yeah.
But so when you see something so that's a perfect example. But when you see something like I just showed you with Best Buy, that, right? So it's basically the website, the existing website that's on. And just displayed on a mobile. I mean, it's even got animated images in the front. It slides across. Does this do a job, or does this just infuriate people?
I really can't tell how many users, potential buyers, Best Buy is losing by not having an optimized site. It's unfortunate that at this day still companies don't realize that. I think many companies do. But there's still these companies who are lagging.
So what would you say to somebody like Best Buy or somebody who's looking at a website saying, well, my website looks great. Look, right? I have a number of clients that say the same thing. Is that, well, why would I do that? My website looks great. There's no JavaScript errors, but it looks exactly like it does on the web. What would you say to somebody like that that's still thinking that a website is a mobile website?
Yeah, I think it's a true problem in education around that. But businesses will know that, first of all, that there is a problem, that their site doesn't provide a great experience, and second, that there are solutions out there to solve that problem. So this is an issue that we're dealing, and I hope that with time and with the adoption of smartphones and more mobile sites becoming available, the awareness will increase. And that's one of the areas where I think it's good to have competition. And I'm glad that we have some competition because, everybody making some noise will help alleviate this issue so more people are aware. What I say to these people is I just give them the link to dudamobile.com, tell them to plug in their URL and see the difference between how their site looks today and how it could look. And I think that really resonates.
So, okay, well, mobile web, it's, I know a lot of people who are charging, $5,000, $10,000 to build you a mobile website. And I look at those guys and say, come on, this is like selling snake oil ultimately. When you've got services like Duda or something like this that you can create a basic one for free and then you can augment or you can add it. You charge $9 a month. It's hosted and it's synchronized in real time. So, there's ways to play with this. But what are some of the best practices that we've seen out there that work so well that kind of would compel maybe not Best Buy, but I also talk to a lot of small businesses that say, I don't need mobile. And I say, look, dry cleaner, you do, right? Everybody on the planet. I say this: if there's a rice farmer in Nepal or in Indonesia that uses a mobile phone to check where they can get the best price for their grain, and which market they can do that at, and then decide where to go based on that, and that's a rice farmer in Indonesia, then you as a dry cleaner can use mobile effectively. So, I mean, what are some of the best practices that would convince somebody to leverage mobile?
Yeah, I think showing hard ROI to these businesses, true facts of how having a mobile optimized site drives more people to visit your business, drives more calls, the click to call ratio. That I think that really resonates with businesses. Just proving to them, this is your competitors. These are the amount of people calling them from their mobile websites, and that's what you're not getting today. I think that's the language that you need to talk to the small business, because the plumber, at the end of the day, they know how to deal with the plumbing. They don't have time to mess around with different software. So you have to be very clear on the value that they're going to get from a mobile site.
So what would they get? So obviously, I mean, you had a good statistic here: 40 to 50% conversion rates on click to call. But what else would they see from that? I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, quite frankly. But this obviously helps in the localized search and your SEO and SEM stuff that you're doing already. And coming up locally the way that Google's local search works is obviously very important. What other features, what other benefits would people have from actually taking some time to concentrate on their mobile website as opposed to building out an app right away?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, more people calling them, more people visiting the business. There's some great statistics about that as well. We have some widgets that are, mobile maps, show you step-by-step directions from where you are, how to get to the business. Other things that we're looking at is mobile coupons, QR codes, everything that can basically get mobile users more engaged with your business. More mobile users, tweeting and publishing, seeing your site, and then maybe sharing that information with their friends on Facebook, or sending your business info by SMS to their friends, just because they really thought that you had a great mobile site, or they thought that your service was superior. So many things that you could do.
And it's does it come down to the fact that it's because mobile is so contextual based, it's contextualized, it's where you are and what you're trying to do, that ultimately you want to show the end user that piece of information that's so relevant to them. So if it's around noon and you type in pizza, ultimately that it knows that, listen, it should be smart enough to obviously say, well, listen, here's the pizza place that's closest to you, and here's a phone number, here's directions. But it also should say, hey, you know what? It's near lunchtime. I know that my competition is going to be around here somewhere. Maybe there's 2 or 3 other pizza parlors around, and I'm going to just throw you a coupon for a free slice when you buy one get one free. Like that kind of contextualized, real-time kind of it is marketing, but all done through the mobile. Is that where you see this going? Like that really clear connection with who you are, where you are, what time of day it is, and kind of benefiting the businesses that are nearby?
Yeah, I definitely see that, and I think today there's limitations in terms of privacy and what we can actually know through the browser. But I think as things change and it becomes more open, we can know more about you, whatever you're willing to share. Of course, there always has to be that element of privacy,
right.
And to help you make better decisions during your day, and to give you more options that are highly relevant to you. You're carrying that mobile device with you 24 hours a day, you should only be getting and receiving things that are super useful to you.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree. From newspapers to food to whatever it is that you're looking for, it should be very relevant and formatted. So let me put you on the spot here. Is that if you were trying to convince somebody on the other end of this, somebody who's watching this or listening to this right now, who's like, I don't need a mobile website, what would you do to convince them that they do, that instead of jumping into a mobile app for their website? I mean, how do you convince people? How do you sell this thing, or does it sell itself?
I think the product is great. So I tell just people go, and the products, and my perception is really when you build a great product, it does a lot of the sales and marketing itself
That's
for you.
true.
And so always that's what I tell so other entrepreneurs, and focus on just building that great product, and you'll get so much people blogging and talking about you. So your work as a sales or a marketing person becomes so much easier when your product is great.
Itai, why,
Uh,
why do you think your product is so good? Like, it's a competitive space, right? There are a lot of companies that are out there doing this, which is good because it kind of, there are certainly more. There's more opportunity than one company can actually benefit from or find. You hope that you dominate, but ultimately, it's a big enough area. What makes your product so good compared to the rest of them?
so I think first of all, the problem that we're trying to solve, it's a problem that has been known for many years. So I would say for over 10 years, different companies have been trying to solve the way that websites display on mobile devices. Truthfully, I think before the iPhone, I think the iPhone made a great change. I think all the solutions before that are pretty much, they didn't deliver on the promise. That's what I could say. I don't think WAP delivered on the promise. I think certain things needed to be in place, and iPhone was one of them, and made such an impact on the industry in the way that people interact with mobile sites, in the way that mobile websites or apps display, and other things like, of course, the way that the carrier networks, the bandwidth has improved, the mobile devices have improved. So a lot of things have improved and made it actually possible to provide a better solution. That's the first thing. Second thing, the way that I think where we are really unique compared to other vendors who are trying to solve the problem is that, first of all, we convert your existing website into a mobile site. So you don't start from scratch, and we don't require you to go and build another site and maintain a second mobile site. We just take your existing site and convert that to mobile. So it makes it very easy, very simple. It's 1, 2, 3, and it's ready. Second thing is that we do the synchronization between your regular website and your mobile site. So any updates that you do to your regular website get automatically propagated into your mobile site. And that's, again, as a business owner, you only want to maintain one site, and we help you do that. And that's really these two things, I think, what really makes us very different than any other competitor in the market.
So do you? When somebody signs up for Duda and they pump in their URL and out comes a mobile website, you host that mobile website, or you pay $9 and you get an your domain name.com. But how do I drive people to it? Do I put code in my website that detects where it's coming from, what browser you're coming from, and then it automatically diverts to Duda's servers?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So you do. We call that mobile redirection.
Yeah.
And that's a snippet of code that we provide any person who builds a site on our service. And you do have to put that code into your regular website. That code detects if the request is originating from a mobile user, and then sends that user to the site that you built on Duda Mobile. Again, it's completely seamless for the mobile user, and also in terms of the URL, as you mentioned, the mobile site, although it's hosted on dudamobile.com, you can still have it show the domain of m.your site. So let's say you have yourcompany.com, the mobile site URL would be m.yourcompany.com.
And the reason why it's hosted on your site is that's where you actually do all the conversions. You do the real-time conversion.
Right. So that's the synchronization, all the algorithms, and the engine that does that. It's on our site.
Okay.
On our servers. Yeah.
When you start to think about this, is there a? I don't even know if you can answer this, and I'm going to leave it to you to make that decision. Is that is there a shelf life for a mobile website? At what point do you look at this and say, listen, that my business is too big to be hosted or to be using Duda software, or is is your software extensible enough to host the largest of the small?
I think we kind of more target the small businesses, small medium businesses. These are the companies that we think can most benefit from our software.
Yep.
Larger companies that have more complex websites with and usually have an internal IT group can do it in other ways. We don't see them as our audience today. Maybe in the future they would be as well. So I think if you're a small business, you have a website which is a couple of pages, could be anywhere between 10 to 20 pages. I think we are the best solution for you to do it in the most simplest way and the most cost-effective way.
Well, okay, so I like that because there are far more small and medium-sized enterprises that are out there that are struggling with this, that don't want to pay an arm and a leg for somebody to actually build a mobile website for them, but don't have a clue where to go, so they don't. So this is a great opportunity for that. And when it comes to building a business, what you're doing with Duda in the mobile space, which is exactly where you are, did you ever have that moment when you were trying to decide what to do? That listen, we're going to get into helping enable mobile as opposed to build product in mobile. So your product enables mobile website development. But did you ever challenge it? What made you go into this business versus another business in the mobile space? Was there anything particular, or just opportunity?
I think as I explained earlier, that was the opportunity that we saw. That was the problem. We went after a very specific problem in mobile, and that was the way that websites displayed, and we didn't like it, and we wanted to solve that problem.
But how did you know that this was going to be, and it's still, we're not there yet, but this is going to be like a mass challenge where you've got 200,000 plus people or companies that are using your service.
Right, because when you see, it usually starts with the companies, the large enterprises who have the budgets and have the resources. When they're the first ones to actually try to solve it. And you see, I was at a bigger company before, and I've seen the amount of resources thrown at these problems, and the effort that was put into it. When you see Amazon's mobile site, and I love Amazon's mobile site. It takes me less time to buy a product on their mobile site than on their website.
Really? Okay, we'll come back to that. But
yeah,
so and the larger companies. The larger companies lead the way.
Companies are investing in this area, and then you take that problem and you try to let's look at it the long tail. I think a lot of companies were built in this way, as looking at how big companies solve a problem and then taking it to the long tail. And this is what we're doing with Duda Mobile.
And obviously, the technology behind it. Are you funded in any way? Are you out in looking for investment? How do you scale this as a service company on top of the mobile industry?
Yeah. So we are funded. We've raised $2.3 million.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
In aggregate in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And I think seeing the growth and the potential, there's still a lot to do. And there's a lot of opportunity in the market, and we're definitely going to go after that opportunity. And it starts with it's mobile phones right now, but there's also mobile is more than a cell phone. It's it's tablets, and it's maybe your GPS device in your car, and there's so many other areas that mobile encompasses where we could go. So I just see endless opportunity, and I think we're really in the early days. So I'm glad to be able to say that we have over 200,000 users today, and I think these are really today the early innovators and the early adopters, and I'm just excited to see this go to mainstream.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Itai.
Yeah.
Just to finish off here, because you mentioned Amazon.com, and I'm going to give everybody a second. You guys out there who are listening or watching, if you're driving, don't do this. Just do this when you get home. But if you can, on your device, pull up Amazon.com. Go. I'll give you a second. We'll just sit here in awkward silence for 10 seconds while you do that. The same thing, Itai, you should do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it as well.
Okay. There's something to be said about awkward silence like that. I like that. I have it up. So what I'd love to do, like right off the bat, I'll show you mine because it must know that I'm a Springsteen fan because I'm logged in obviously before, and it's showing me, Ghost of Tom Joad and the E Street Band Live from Hyde Park, and obviously The Promise by Bruce Springsteen. Tell me, maybe can you give us 5 things on this site that Amazon, you say like, oh my, these guys, they just get this. They understand it. They put all that effort into it. We're going to finish with this. The 5 things on Amazon.com, on their mobile site, that you say that, listen, replicate this. This is an awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
On the spot.
On the spot. So first thing, showing my search on Amazon.com, definitely Amazon sees us as different users. I get Huggies.
Huggies.
Right?
I love it.
So this is you know that I have now a 8 months old son.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
These are the relevant products that I buy. So number one, make it
Amazon knows everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So make it what?
Make put it out there. What is the core action that you want the mobile user to do on your site? And here it's definitely all around purchase and purchase the products that are relevant to this user. And they made it super relevant for me because I buy a lot of my son's baby's product on Amazon's website.
So great.
So they just put that in front of me. Besides that, the search bar on the top makes it very easy for me to find other products that I might be interested in. Then I continue to scroll down. I see the categories. And these are definitely not all the categories in Amazon, but I'm sure that Amazon did some research and figured out that most people on their mobile devices buy books, buy things that are relevant to Kindle, and movies, music, and games. So don't give users all the options on your website. Understand user interaction on your mobile device. Use Google Analytics or whatever product you're using to really understand how mobile users are interacting with your site, and based on that data, make sure that it's very easy to find. So I guess that was number 3.
Yep.
Let's see what else. No, I don't need to, as we said, no pinching, no zooming. Everything is very clear. Everything is readable. Very easy to move between the different categories here. So they're using a lot of the touchscreen features. One thing that I would recommend Amazon is to use some of the features of things like swipe. So I see they do have here, I can move between the products, but I think adding like gestures like swipe would really make the experience so much cooler.
So natural gestures.
Yeah, natural gestures. So I would say they're not doing that well.
Yep.
Right now. And access to, let's see, what else do we have here? Let's click on one of the products. Let's see. So I chose one of the products. Reviews are very high on the top. I think a lot of people want to read reviews, so that was a smart decision. And one-click purchase, definitely from a mobile device, especially around purchasing. The last thing that I want to do on a mobile device is enter all my credit card information and is where my billing address is. So a great move to put that one-click purchase to make it very easy for me to complete it on the mobile device.
They really do a great job.
They remove probably they removed here all kinds of fields that are nice to have. So you want to ask the user a lot of questions, but not on a mobile device. So save those questions for your website and really focus on the core activity. You know, the mobile user is on the go. We don't have a lot of time, and we want to get through this. If I'm going to purchase, and I want to get through it as quickly and as possible. And they really excelled in that.
Yeah, I mean, those are great things. I mean, you're right. The simplicity with which this moves by, I mean, it's all driven by also a huge back end with great speed and care that has been built by this. Yeah, I mean, I would add to that you know, I love the fact that it's a seamless thing. So obviously my Amazon.com account translates over here, so it has a great way of incorporating everything that I've done there. And you know, I think the criticism for me is that the deals of the day, not relevant to me, right? They're just deals of the day, that there's a little button up at the top.
Yeah.
But you know, all in all, this is I mean, it's quite an experience. And these guys are shopping experts, so you know exactly what the outcome of coming to Amazon.com on your mobile device is that, listen, they're trying to drive commerce, aren't they? Right? That's their goal, and it's very clear. Last question about this. They have this up at the very top, and I see this quite a bit, which is right here. It says somewhere in there, yeah, right there. Get the Amazon app, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, is part of what you're supposed to be doing, or you're trying to do, if you have an application, is draw attention to that from your mobile website as well, right? Is that a good strategy?
Yeah, I think it's especially for companies like Amazon, you know, and eBay, who have this huge audience that uses their service very often. So it makes, in these cases, I think it makes sense to create an app and let these people who come through the mobile website, let them know that there's an app as well. There are still things today that it's easier to do through an app. And if you have the audience that would download your app and use it, then, you know, let them know. I see especially in large enterprises, a lot of companies doing this kind of hybrid approach of both mobile web and mobile app.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that evolves as HTML5 evolves and more things can be done on the mobile web. Will be interesting to see how these strategies unfold in the future.
And that's to the frontier, right? That's why you're so excited about this, because we're just at the beginning. Nobody knows where this is going to go. So I've got, of those, the core actions, the reasons why Itai likes the Amazon.com mobile website is that there's a core action. You got to have a very clear core action. These are almost best practices right now. A clear core, core reason for doing this. What do you want people to actually do when you land on their mobile website? One of the great things is search, is making that very relevant. So if your site has a lot of inventory or has a lot of content, prominent search is very important. What do we say? Don't give too many options. Give the ones that people want. So, scour your analytics and go through those and make sure that you understand what people are accessing or trying to access from a mobile device. And also use a little bit of common sense, I would say, in that they don't want to download PDFs, right? They don't want to look at your map as a PDF. They want just integrate with mobile, Google Maps or something like that. Key thing. And Itai said it a bunch of times, no pinching, no zooming, right? None of that garbage where you actually have to use your fingers. Just give them the information really quickly. But a corollary to that is make sure that what you're doing is natural usage, natural gestures when it comes to actually using your mobile device. So whatever you're doing on the device itself, see if you can emulate that inside of the mobile website. And then the last thing is that do what you're known for. So in Amazon's case, it's one-click purchasing, right? Which is just extend what you've been doing all along, but bring that into the mobile space in a really efficient, clear, clean way. That was 5 things. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, I think you covered it well.
Wicked. So where can people find out more about this information? Like, how can people get engaged? One of the things I'll say is that your blog, I love it. Your sites of the week, where it just shows why people, the benefits that people are having as a result of moving in, their websites into mobile web versions, is incredible. I mean, I got lost in it the last couple of days as I was looking through some of the best practices. Wicked, wicked, wicked resource. So I love that. So where can people find out about this stuff?
So first of all, go to dudamobile.com, DUDA mobile.com. As you said, read our blog. I'm glad that you like the work that Teresa, our community manager, is doing. She's doing some fabulous work around the blog.
Her name's Teresa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa, love it. I mean,
Let's give her some
that's
credit.
exactly how you sell it. I mean, show me, don't tell me. And that blog is incredible.
Yeah. So, those are some sources of information. Any other thing, feel free to email me, itai@dudamobile.com. That's itai@dudamobile.com. I'll be glad to get comments. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, I mean, now there's no excuse. You can go and try this out. Go and start leveraging the mobile web and do it properly. It's the same reason why all of us are using WordPress predominantly, because it just takes the guesswork out of a lot of the SEO stuff and the SEM stuff and the structured and the tags and the post and all that kind of stuff. Not to mention that you can get some great templates as well. But it's the reason why we're not building this from scratch over and over and over again. And companies like Itai's, like Duda, are helping in getting us there, giving us a launching pad, and then allowing us to customize that with some great analytics behind it. This is something that everybody here should at least try and see if it works for them. Don't go spend thousands of dollars unless you're a big company and you can spend that money. Don't go spend thousands of dollars. This is one of those things that you can do right away. You can test it for free. Free, right? I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's completely free. There's a free and there's a subscription where you get some of the premium features, but you can try it out for free. So why not give it a shot?
Well, that's it. Like, don't hold back on this. If you're a small company, you're trying to figure it out. If you're a big company, you're trying to figure it out. You don't need a massive budget to get things going. And that's what the things that I try to preach here is, and I do preach about it, is that everybody should be engaged in mobile, and it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to get into the mobile space, to give your customers what they need on these devices. Start. Just do this one thing, and you will have started, and your customers will appreciate it more. You'll get a little bit more brand equity. They will actually use you more often. It's a circuitous pattern here, and if you're out there, think about that 40 to 50% engagement rate when it comes to what Itai was saying about the conversion rates around click to call or click to text. Just do it. Do yourself a favor. Just start. And whether you whether you use Duda or somebody else, I don't care, but I do. I mean, I like Itai, and I want you to use his service, but I want you to use the best one. But I want you to start, and that's why we bring these shows to you. Is that there's best practices in all of these. So go and do it. And start with Duda Mobile at DUDAMOBILE.com.
Robin, I think you mentioned that a lot of your users are, when we talked previously, are creatives, web designers, web developers. All these people, we have a great program for them. Go to our dudamobile.com/partners. You can also find a link at the bottom of the footer. So go check it out, and we have discounts for these types of people, so they can use it and offer it to their customers.
Love it, love it. That's a great way to market it. That's part of the the viral nature of this, is to make sure that people can make money off of what you're doing as well. So or get a discount. So go to Duda Mobile, go and check out their blog. You'll see if you're on the fence about a mobile website, this will actually help you make your decision about it and sign up. And I think that there's nothing left to say. I think we've covered this. But I want to thank you, Itai, for coming on and sharing this best practices. We got 5 great tips, a bunch of other ones around why you need a mobile website and why you should go and do it. So thank you very much for doing this. Appreciate your time.
Hey, Rob, thanks. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. It was fun talking to you.
Well, for those of you guys who are still watching, and I know there are many of you, again, can't say enough, I thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate the fact that you come, even if it's once a week or once a month. I just appreciate the fact that you're listening, and I'd love to hear some feedback. So start talking to me at untether@gmail.com. I respond to every single email that you send to that address. Or you can find me on Twitter at Rob Woodbridge. But just whatever you do, reach out and let me know what you think about this. But I really do appreciate you watching and listening. Thank you. Itai, thank you. And we'll see you next time on Untether.tv.